I will take only few minutes. Already my colleague is covered almost most of the points with respect to respected to DICE and all the guests. Uh, Here actually I will explain the centralized system for the street lighting. We have centralized system for the to control the street lighting. We have our own developed CCMS controller, which has been tested for the IEC 13779 standard for the class 1 accuracy. We have CCMS panel. We have our online dashboard. We are the first in India who has successfully done the projects for first in India in Bhubaneswar and Vizag for the cloud-based application. Actually, my colleague has already shared one slide for the Bhubaneswar. And for the Vizag, actually, almost 95,000 of lights has been monitored through our centralized server. Actually, we next to that, we are also the one of the company. We are the only company which claims the 80% of energy saving through our specially designed CCMS and the lighting solution. Actually, the most of the cities, it has been defined the energy criteria for something around 50 to 60% realistically. But actually, we do through the dimming, we actually do the saving up to 80% by doing the dimming in the non-peak hours. And I request that those are the responsible for the tendering process. This should be the performance criteria for or the selection criteria, important criteria, because energy is a very important parameter, and this should be there for the selection of the bid and the vendors. That minimum, at least I could say the 70 to 75% of energy saving criteria should be there in the tendering process for the street lighting. Through the CCMS, we are capable of switching on and off lights in a particular switching point or the network switching point. In a single command, you can give the control to all these street lights in the entire city. You can make it on, make it off. You can dim it through our server. We also have the sunrise and sunset schedule that can be configurable from the server itself. Or you can also predefine the certain times, like you can define the on-off time and also you can define depending upon your sunrise sunset schedule. You know that in India after every 20 days our season gets changed. That means the sunset schedule gets changed. So this can be a control through efficiently from the server, and through the single point or the single click you can change the timing of the entire city for the street light. Our CCMS has inbuilt real-time clock, and we also do provide the NVRAM battery backup to store the energy parameters. It also captures the various electrical parameters like phase-wise voltage, phase-wise current, three-phase power, and the reactive power and the apparent power. Sir has already said that they had fantastic work they had done for the power factor controller. Actually, I would like to share that we have the street lighting for the almost which improves the power factor up to a 0.99 power factor, and we do the monitoring of that through our centralized system. And one more point I just wanted to suggest that if we also do the same, if to improve the power factor for the no load compensation of the transformer, that is one of the important parameter. And in India, actually the municipalities or the energy sectors are not looking behind it, because the no load compensation also one of the important parameter. And I think this is actually deviating from my point, but I would like to request to sir, that is, he is giving the more importance to the power factor. That is why this point came, because we do also do the monitoring of the power factor, and we have the solution for the online power factor compensation. We have the GPRS technology for the remote streetlight monitoring. We have the synchronization of the RTC through the online server. We do have the selection parameter for the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 or 60 minutes for the monitoring of the street lights. We do have the various alerts. Actually, you know that when the on this site, if the street lights has been installed and suppose the feeder panels are installed, then the monitoring of the alerts are very important. Like if there is any over voltage or overload, then it should triggered on the online dashboard. This will help because if there is a over voltage, then all lights should get off to protect the system. That the crossing threshold we have provided in our centralized system. We also have one of the important parameters of the MCB trips, because you know that during the overloading or due to the leakage, it will draw the excess current through the feeder panel or the CCMS panel. Then during that, MCB protection should be there to protect the contactor, because every contactor has its own capacity. Like for the 25 ampere contactor will not withstand if you draw more than 50 ampere current or like that. So that is a very important feature in our CCMS as far as our CCMS is considered. We do have the power failure alerts, panel door alerts in our CCMS. We are the only company, as I said, which does the dimming in non-peak hours. This is actually the flow how we control our street lights from the online web server. First, the command is going from the online web server to the cloud, and then it is going to the CCMS panel, and ultimately to the street lights. So this is how we control the street light from our CCMS cloud server. This is our dashboard, which has the, you can see here the details channel are being there. There is a consumption of the kWh, kVh, and also the contact person. If suppose the concerned person wants the alert on his mobile, then he will the alerts will be generated on his mobile. So like if there is any alerts like over voltage, under voltage, or the MCB trip, or any fault is there, automatically alerts will be generated on his mobile. Here the remote operation parameter are explained. Like we do on a single click, we can give the command on, off, and the remote control. We do also provide the on-off lighting time control. The dim control is also there. These are the other parameters where we can control the our sunrise sunset schedule, the TCP IP address. This is a GIS mapping of our online server. So we have given the provision in our CCMS panel to provide the latitude, longitude in the panel itself. So which will send the data from through GPRS through our server, and it will give the GIS mapping of the every feeder panel. These are some certification which is available for our CCMS. We have the ESD for 8 kV and 4 kV. We have AC high voltage for 4 kV. Impulse test we have done for the 6 kV. Then surge immunity we have done for 4 kV, and auxiliary port for the 2 kV, and some of the EMI testings. We do also have the wireless camera. We call it as a feature of connectivity. We do have the surveillance application. Already my colleague is shared some of the pics of the Jamnagar. So considering all our street light projects, actually we do the saving of approximate 8,000 megawatt energy on monthly basis, considering all our projects, which is equivalent to glowing the 53,000 houses, or equivalent of the consumption of 5 kWh units per day. Or you can call it as generating a power plant of capacity 11 megawatt. So this is what our achievement. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Thanks all.